preparing the live stream webinar. Zoom is, it has a little message saying it's preparing. And I would assume we would end up on the Facebook. We would end up on the,
Yep.
on
We're
the,
live.
huh?
We're live.
We are?
Yep.
I don't see that.
Top left of the screen.
Oh, no, here it is. Now I see it. Okay, we're there. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So we are live. that was quick. All right, so that's cool. So up and now it's switching. It went to your camera, went to my camera. I wonder if it's set up to go to whoever's talking. I wonder.
It might well be.
And we changed that. How did we do that? Oh no, we should keep it like that, right? Because if we're going to be doing a live stream together, I don't want to have to keep switching the cameras back and forth.
No.
Right? So yeah, I saw it switch when you started talking. That's really cool. Okay, so we have 7 people here already.
Good grief.
Yeah, so Johnny, you watch the chat and I'll kind of let people know what we're doing. So welcome everybody once again to one of Johnny and I's kind of into impromptu live streams that we just, every time we want to test something new, we are again working as a team trying to make this experience for all of you in the training better. And we're doing a little test here. So, hey, Mike, how are you? Hi, Ian, how are you? So we got 14 people here, Johnny, just like this.
Yeah.
You're online for 20 seconds. All
Well,
right.
you know what the cool thing is that at the bottom of the broadcast, it says Zoom.
It does. And I don't know why it does. It shouldn't, because I'm paying. Oh, you know what? I know there's a setting where I could turn off the branding, and I might not have done that. And there is a little bit of delay in YouTube because I can see as it's switching. That might be on my end to fix that. They're in the bottom right hand corner. But anyway, guys, so while Johnny's working on that, Johnny's Lipsham, Johnny Scotland, as I like to call him, my buddy, we are, as you know, or maybe you don't know, tomorrow night, or no, today's Thursday, Saturday night, May 27th, we are doing a live stream, the Home Recording Made Easy monthly live stream. I sent out an email to all the VIP members today. And you guys should have gotten that email with a link to the YouTube channel. And so we are going to still do that. We're still doing that. And what we wanted to do was we are trying yet another live stream or a YouTube stream software that Johnny and I had found that's not Wirecast, which is called Zoom. And you could see that little logo in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, which should go away by Saturday because I have the paid service. I can probably remove that branding. I just didn't do it in the preferences. Why we're using a new platform is because not really for live streaming, is this is going to be the platform that we're going to use in the future when we're going to start offering webinars for all of you. And we have one that's going to be coming up in the middle of June. If you are on my VIP email list, and if you are not, you're crazy. You have to go out to homerecordingmadeeasy.com and on the homepage, sign up for the VIP newsletter. You will be getting an email from me probably over the next 2 or 3 days for the webinar that's coming up in June. Now, this webinar that we're offering at first is going to be completely free of charge. We're not charging anything for it because we're going to be doing it as a test. So what you're watching us on now, this Zoom platform, is not only a live streaming software like we're doing right now, but it is really for webinar instruction. And so we're testing out the platform. And that's why we kind of jumped on here today, because you can not only do webinars for private instruction, but you can also broadcast to Facebook and to YouTube. So we thought before we jump on Saturday, let's try this out and see what happens. So that's what's going on. So get on the VIP newsletter. You'll get an email and there'll be a link for you to register for the webinar. Again, it's completely free. It's going to be a basic kind of a mixing course. We're just going to do something. We're going to have some fun. We're going to mix a song. We'll show you some techniques, so on and so forth. It's going to be free. Here's the catch. They're only the first 100 people that register are going to be allowed into the chat room of the webinar. You'll get a link. You'll click on that link. You'll end up in on the internet into a live chat, just like you're kind of doing here on YouTube. This is not going to be on YouTube now, this webinar. And you'll be able to participate with us in the webinar, just like we do over YouTube, but it's all in real time. There's no delay like there is on YouTube. The video quality is better. The audio quality is better. And what's great about Zoom is that you're going to be able to participate not only in the chat, but you'll be even able to join in video and in audio with Johnny and I if we select you to come on in and become what they call a panelist. So if somebody has a question on, let's say, EQ, and we want the folks in the chat to hear your question, I can activate. So if you're on audio and video, and you turn your system on, you'll be able to address the rest of the people in the webinar, which is really cool. So anyhow, that's the long answer to what we're going to be doing. This is all going to happen on this new platform, which is Zoom, and we're testing it out right now. So what you're watching us through is the platform called Zoom. And the other great thing about this, which I love it even more, is it's not only going to be just hosted by me, you'll be able to have multiple co-hosts and instructors. And in this case, good old Johnny. So
Yep.
I'll be able to share my screen. Johnny will be able to share his screen. You'll be able to hear the audio on both of our screens. You'll see him when he starts talking and presenting. You'll see me when I start talking and presenting. And that's what's going to be happening. So thanks for joining in today. We just wanted to do a quick test. I'll share my screen in a second. We'll play back some audio to make sure everybody hears it. Johnny could do the same.
Yep.
So what do you think of this whole thing, Johnny? So you want to say hi to the folks? You could say hi to the folks as soon as
yeah, absolutely. I think this is a great idea. It's just going to be brilliant for us to be able to answer people's questions. It's going to be great for us both to be able to demonstrate different things like we're going to on Saturday. You know, Dave, you're going to be taking care of one particular aspect of Saturday, and I'll take care of a different one as well. So, you know, it's going to be great that I'm going to be able to share my screen into that so that people can see the detail. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's really the key here. So as we're moving forward, Johnny Geib, as you may know, right? You guys all know who Johnny Geib is, right? The home studio trainer. I call him the Studio One sensei. That's what I call him. He's like the ninja of Studio One, right? So Johnny and myself are going to be doing more things together in the future. We've kind of alluded to that in the past, where we're going to try to do a lot more of these live broadcasts and these webinars and these live instructions as a team. So, you know, everyone will do their own separate thing, but we're going to work together. And Zoom allows us to kind of pull it all together and to do things as a group, which is so cool. So you guys are going to get 3 guys that kind of know what they're doing, helping train you, as opposed to just one guy kind of knows what he's doing. You know, that kind of a thing. So it'll be kind of neat. And yeah, Johnny, you mentioned on Saturday. So what we're going to be doing this Saturday, is everyone that's a Studio One user is aware of the new 3.5 release that just happened the other day. And most of you, I was there as well, was with Johnny and Johnny over on the Home Studio Trainer channel. And they were kind of showing you all the features, and you guys were looking at all that. And there's a lot of cool things that are going on. So we're going to do some of that. But what I really want to do as well is I want to take these new fat channel compressors and EQs, Johnny, that PreSonus has, the Pultec emulation, the Neve emulation, the 1176, and the LA2A, those compressors and EQs, and we are going to compare them in Studio One to the Universal Audio counterparts as well as the Wave counterparts, which I think is going to be really cool. So the questions are going to be, well, wow, do these new PreSonus analog plugins sound as good as the expensive ones that we all hear about, that some of us may have spent a lot of money on and may not need anymore? I don't know. We're going to find out. And I truly don't know the answer to this. I have not done a side-by-side comparison yet. I have not. So I can honestly tell you, I can't tell you which ones I feel are better, if they are better, because I haven't done that. What I have done is, when it first, before the public even knew about it, when it first came out, I started recording one of the quick mix series that are going to be done in November, December of this year. And I used those fat channels on that quick mix video. And I used all those compressors and EQs, and I'll tell you, they are very good. They are good. Now, are they as good as the other stuff? We have not done the side-by-side comparison. I wanted to wait so we can all do it together. Okay. So we're all going to do it together. We're going to listen together, and that's going to be my end of the live stream on Saturday. Johnny, what are you going to be kind of talking about Saturday?
I'm going to be talking about the project page. I'm going to be going into some detail on a lot of the major changes. There have been some massive changes to the project page that were kind of not really discussed in the PreSonus Live, where Studio One was launched. There was just not a whole lot of detail. So I'm going to go into some of the detail about the changes to particularly the loudness management and some of the metering that's changed, as well as some of just some of the way in which mastering is now managed in Studio One. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, there is a lot of enhancements to the project page. I'm interested to see your presentation on that because I have not gone through any of those yet. So that's going to be really, really cool. Somebody asks in the chat here if it's going to be in stereo. It should be. I'm told that Zoom broadcasts in stereo. So I don't know. We're going to find out. But I spent a good hour on the phone on a conference call with my support person over at Zoom, asking some of these questions. That was one of the questions I had. He said, yes, it's in stereo. YouTube's in stereo, so it should be fine. We're not limited the way we were with Wirecast. The only difference though is with this, you can't have multiple cameras. So I can't have a camera here, a camera on the studio live, a camera on the screen. That is more of a Wirecast thing. But for what we're going to be doing, at least for Saturday, we don't need that. We're going to be looking at Studio One and we're going to be looking at plugins in the project page. We don't need to see the studio live necessarily. So it should be stereo. So we got 15 people hanging in here. So do you guys have any questions for us? Again, this is just a test. Let me ask you in the chat, how does our video and the audio, how's the video look for both Johnny and myself? And Johnny we'll start chatting here in a second and the video will switch to him. And how does our audio level sound between the two of us?
That's a great question to ask. Hopefully you're hearing us both nice and clear, albeit I am coming from way across the Atlantic in Scotland, so there's always that. Looks great, sounds perfect, Tilly Road Affair Productions says, so that's cool.
That's great. Yep. And I mean, I can control, it sounds good in my headphones. I mean, I'm controlling the balance on the studio live. So we can always adjust it. And just like with Wirecast, we could go over and I'll have Studio One on its own separate fader. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, if you guys hear any distortions or anything like that, tell us. Okay.
Yeah. Please let us know. I mean, we know this is all just gonna it's Paul saying one is softer than the other. Video is really good. That could be Johnny a little softer just because his fader is a little lower than mine, so we could balance them out a little bit, which is totally fine. But yeah,
I'm louder apparently.
What's that?
It's me that's louder apparently.
You're louder. Okay, I could turn you down a little bit. No big deal. And again, as long as it's relatively close and it sounds good, this is great. Again, this is a test for us because when we do webinars, we want it to we want it to be the best experience for you guys as possible. We want the video to look great. We want the audio to sound good. We don't want things to crash like YouTube and stuff. And so we're really trying to, unfortunately, when you do things and everything's free, like the YouTube stuff, all that stuff is free. Sometimes you got to put up with some of the quality problems because none of us are paying for it. But when you move to a platform like Zoom or any of these other platforms, I'm paying for that stuff. So we expect that it'll be better quality and we want to make sure that we're making the investment so you guys have a better experience. And so anytime we do these things, if you guys hear or see something that doesn't sound right or look right or whatever, let us know because it helps us get feedback so we could try to continue to improve. That's our goal here, is to continue to get better at this and find ways to make this a better experience for all of you. That's what we're here to do. So that'll be really cool. So we still got 15 people in here. It says Johnny is a little muddy. You mean sound? That could be, I don't know, maybe a setting on your end. You sound good to me in the headphones, John. So I don't know.
Do I need to take that personally? I have been out all day in the sunshine, so maybe I'm a little muddy.
I think it's your sound, not the video. I think it's the audio they're talking
All
about.
right. Well, I'm not running through an EQ or anything, so I'm just running direct.
Yeah, and again, some of it's like you said, the internet. I mean, we're still doing this over the internet, and we're still doing this right now through YouTube. So that
It all adds up.
It all adds up. It does. But yeah.
And I don't have as good a mic as you have.
Could be. I don't know if he's saying Tarak is saying that it's not as clear and crisp. Okay, so you saying the video, Johnny's video isn't is muddy, or the audio? When you say muddy, I think audio automatically, but he could mean video, and that just could be the lighting, could be his webcam versus my webcam. That could be that kind of thing. It looks clear to me when I'm looking at Johnny, so I don't see it, but again, don't know what you guys are all seeing.
The audio, apparently.
The audio, okay. All right, well, we could try to work on that a little bit for Saturday. We could try to do that.
Yeah, I have a cheapy condenser mic. It's like a £40 mic. So
Oh, well, there you go. So now you have to go out and spend a lot of money. See, because I don't. That's what you got to do now.
I need to start a GoFundMe page for a
For a
mic like
microphone.
yours. Yeah.
That's exactly what you need to do. You know what I'm going to do is while you're maybe chatting with the folks here for a second, John, I'm going to open up a Studio One session and share the screen here in a minute, just so we could see if they can hear it through Zoom.
Cool. Yeah, I've got one open as well.
Okay. Why don't you why don't you go ahead and can you share your screen, John? And and let's see if we can get this to work for the folks on YouTube, so you can play back some stuff in Studio One just to make sure that we all can hear it.
Okay. Share. What do I want? Screen. Studio One. There we go. Okay. Can you see my screen, folks?
I know I can see your screen, and I'd be interested to see on the YouTube channel what they see. I know they're going to see your screen. Okay. And you know what they see? They see your screen, and they see, oh, okay. And they see a window in the top right-hand corner of Studio One, and depending on who is talking will depend on who's in the video. Where on your screen and my screen, Johnny, both of our pictures are on the screen.
Yes.
Now, there might be a way to change that where they see both of our pictures, but really for presentation purposes, they only need to see the person that's presenting, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So I'll shut up and you can do some stuff on Studio One.
Okay. I'll do my best. Okay. I've got a little dialog box at the bottom here saying, please move this window away from the shared application. I don't know what that is. No idea what that is.
Oh, you know what? Also at the top, I noticed at the top of the screen here, at the top of your screen, does it say practice mode? Oh, yes. It says attendees can't join until you broadcast. Okay, great. Because we have no attendees trying to come into the Zoom room.
Right.
This is done on YouTube. So we're still running in practice mode, even though we're going to YouTube. So you don't need to broadcast to go to YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if there were people trying to come into the Zoom webinar, they wouldn't be able to because we didn't broadcast it yet.
Right.
Okay, I'm done. Go ahead.
All right. So I have this song up in Studio One. This is my song Chanel from my EP from last year. And I hope you like it. I will play just a wee bit of it. I'm not going to play all of it because it's like 6.5 minutes long.
Here I am, and I'm staring at my phone. Don't have no plan.
Okay. I wonder if you could hear that, folks.
We can. I can. It sounds a little jarbled. Do you have your YouTube your YouTube muted?
I do. Yes.
Okay, so do I. I don't know what they're hearing. It sounds very jarbly. I don't know if that's the right word, but it doesn't sound clean and
Oh.
and crisp. I don't know if that's
good.
why that is, but
That's not so good.
no, that's not so good.
I don't know what to do about that now. Let me see. Maybe if I turn some volumes down and see what that does. Let me play a little bit more and see if that helps.
I can't wait for when you're home.
Is that any better?
Play it a little more.
Okay.
There'll be wine and sweet recline. Close my eyes.
A little better. So it might be a volume thing. The other thing you could try, Johnny, if you can like solo up a single track and do a hard pan left and a hard pan right.
Okay.
That stereo thing happening.
All right. Let's see. What have I got? This stereo. I've got stuff panned about here. In fact, I don't have much stuff panned about here until you get to the chorus. So let me just drop into the chorus, and you should be able to hear backing vocals out wide, left and right.
Okay.
I, Chanel, do you not know
like you should be able to hear these in just a second. Hand in hand, promised land.
It sounds stereo to me, but that's in my cans. If I heard one track, I would be able to tell you for sure.
Okay, let's go to the verse, and I'll grab the vocal and I'll mess around with that.
Eyes see the sailors spend their pay. My heart cries,
It's mono.
never walk away. For my love comes from.
Yeah,
again.
it doesn't move from left to right. It stays up the middle. So that's interesting.
Oh.
That is interesting. Not sure why that is. We'll have to investigate that. I don't know. I was told that it was stereo for sure. But how does it sound out in the chat other than that?
Oh, I can't open the chat whilst I'm sharing screens.
No, I can look. I'm looking at it. Someone says could be the streaming speed has to catch up. Okay, I hear you. That's better. Mono, yes, it sounds like it is.
Right.
Someone says it's still good to me, video and audio. So a little bit of a mixed bag of responses there.
Okay.
20 people kind of hanging, which is cool.
Alrighty. I'll stop sharing mine just now. And we should be back to normal.
We should be back to normal. Yep, let's get to the YouTube delay here. Now I see you on the full screen. You have a what do they call it? A different view mode. Let me see. Do I have to escape? Is that what it is? Okay, there we go. So no, we should see. What do we get on the screen here? Okay, so I'm controlling it from my end as far as, or I'm on the full screen now. That's not what we should have.
That's because possibly I'm not saying anything.
Oh yeah, that could be it. That could be it. Yeah.
Okay.
Once you say something, it switches. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so if I were to share my screen, and you can even just share an application, which is cool. So let me try that. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and for this little dopey test we're doing. Let's see, share screen, and I can just share. Not that one. First, I'm going to put Zoom up on this other monitor, and then I'll bring up Studio One, and then I'll share the screen and see what you guys can hear or not hear. Hopefully, you'll be able to hear everything. All right, let me share the screen. Let's see, share screen. Okay, so now in a second or so, John, everyone should see Studio One on my desktop.
Yeah, should do. I'm seeing it now.
You are?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so let me play back some. This is not, I imported some tracks, but there's no processing done to this. I don't even know that I balanced the faders. So let me just turn these down because I don't know how loud this is going to be. So let me turn them down and I'll creep them up. This was probably a bad session to do an example with, but it's what I had open. So let me just crank these down. Okay, let me try, see what we got going on here. How does that audio sound?
It sounds garbled a wee bit.
That's interesting. So, that's not going to be good.
Yeah, which is what you kind of said about mine. So
exactly. So we have an audio issue for sure that we're going to need to work that out. In order to do this for now Saturday, we could just go back through Wirecast like we've always done.
Mhm.
But yeah, in order to do this through Zoom, we got to get that figured out. So okay, I mean that's interesting to know. I didn't know. I mean, I could see that the screen is there, so I know that we're sharing the screen. So yeah, there's definitely an audio issue. Again, I don't believe. Let me stop sharing the screen. I don't believe. Stop. Yeah. Stop sharing screen. Okay, so now it'll just be me probably in a second. I don't believe it's a setting in Zoom, but I will double check it while we're kind of sitting here. It'd be interesting, and I don't know if it's because we're broadcasting over YouTube. Like if we did a webinar, the audio can't sound that way. We can't have that. So
Yeah, well, I mean, that's how it was sounding in my ears
right.
as well. And I guess I'm listening to the Zoom feed rather than YouTube because I have YouTube muted. So
Yeah, me as well. Okay, so then yeah, I don't see anything.
wobbly really bad. Apparently okay until you raise the volume.
So the other thing too is what I can't do, what I don't seem to be able to do with Zoom, but you can do with Wirecast. I can't see how hot the signal is coming in. On Wirecast, there's an input and output meter, so you can see it. Okay, well, we're gonna have to try to work that out. And we're gonna have to try to work that out. So
Yes.
Yeah, it is what it is, right? This is why we're doing a test, folks, because we don't know what's going to happen. These are all, we're learning as we're kind of going along here. And so we're trying to learn as we go. And that happens when you try to learn as you go, right?
Yeah. I mean, the only way we're going to encounter these kind of issues is if we test it out and, then if we can iron some of these things out before broadcast. I mean, that's what we did with getting Wirecast going in the first place.
Exactly.
So who knows? We might be able to get these issues out of the way.
I think we can. And again, the first webinar that we're going to do, like I said, in June, when you guys get the invite, it's free. We're not charging you a penny because I don't know what's going to happen. This is over YouTube. Now, remember, the webinar won't be over YouTube. It'll be through the Zoom platform. And from what I was told, we shouldn't have these issues, but we won't know until we try. And so that's why I want to offer it for free in case we have some stumbling blocks along the way, in case the quality isn't as great as we all hoped it would be. You guys won't be paying anything for it. And so you can just hang out with us, and you're going to be kind of our feedback group to let us know how is everything working on your end as a viewer, because that's important. And if it's not Zoom, although this is what this Zoom is made for, it's made to do webinars and broadcasts. That's that's all it does. So I can't imagine that we can't get it sorted out, or else if it was that terrible, they wouldn't be in business.
Yeah, exactly. They
right?
get lots of complaints.
Exactly. So, it'll absolutely be free. And then, once we get it all sorted out down the road, we're going to be offering some paid classes and stuff, but we got to have it all ironed out before that happens. So hopefully you guys are cool with that. I mean, you guys were cool about the whole experiment right from the beginning when we first started this whole mess. So, we're trying. So I don't know if Johnny, there's anything else, any questions you guys have in the chat that you want Johnny and I to kind of answer while we're here?
Well, Anis 43 has just posted something that's quite interesting. He says it might be the universal control making it mono. He says it happened to him. So,
well, you're on a PC, Johnny. I'm on a Mac. I don't think I need to use universal control. Do I? I never did.
well, it's the driver. Universal controls the driver for the interface for, I believe, for the Studio Live, as well as a whole bunch of other PreSonus products.
Now I know yesterday when Johnny Geib did something with universal control, everything kind of crapped out. So I'll open mine. I'll try it. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I could see I have my Studio Live and my Audio Box i2 on the screen here.
Yeah, the i2 would be running universal control as well as its driver.
Right. So let me just see, because in Zoom's audio stick, because I know with Wirecast, remember in Zoom, we had to choose, yes, my microphone is coming through the i2, which is the way Johnny told me to set it up, which is the way it's being done.
Yeah.
My speakers are through the Studio Live. So if I go through Universal Control, let's see. Universal Control I2. What's going to happen? I have no clue, but we'll find out in a second.
Yeah, if this we kind of get disconnected, folks, there's nothing personal, okay?
Yes, right.
We're not hanging up the call.
No, it's just, let's see, appearance. I don't see anything in my Universal Control that would allude to mono stereo or anything like that.
Yeah, whoever it was that posted that, could you post up what you did to change it? Or if you have changed it or not, that'd be useful.
Let me see. Let me close this. Let me go to my I2 and let me just see if I open up that little panel for the I2. Is it going to do anything? Oh, no, because the I2, it needs to be hooked up. Oh, no, it sees it. It's USB. So how
It's
come
USB, so should, yeah.
when I click on, the only one that does it is the Studio Live. When I click on that, the mixer panel opens up, but not for the I2, which is weird.
He says he's on a Mac, which is fine.
I'm looking for something that would allude to mono stereo, but I don't see anything.
Huh.
Interesting.
It is. I'm just looking at my audio options to see if there's anything there. I can't actually change anything whilst we're broadcasting, whilst we're on the webinar.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, it's something we're just going to have to try to figure out. I mean, that's, we'll get it all figured out one way or the other. We will try to get this stuff sorted out. Worst case scenario on Saturday, if we can't get the audio right, then we have to just go back through Wirecast because if we're going to start comparing compressors and EQs and the audio's all wobbly, that's not going to help us at all.
Yeah.
That won't help us one bit. So anyway, we still got 15 people here. Again, are there any questions from the chat that you guys want Johnny or I to kind of address? Do you just want to hang, or could we hang up this call? Again, I won't post this up on YouTube. I'm just going to delete it. It's not going to be in the archive, but we're here. So, we're here to try to help or answer any questions you guys might have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing, huh?
And nothing being posted up. Unless everybody is furiously typing.
Or they're like, these guys just don't know what the hell they're doing.
Well,
which is what, the point.
Accurate. Martin Stone says, sounds like feedback, same as someone phoning radio whilst listening to radio. Right, okay.
Summer Drummer Boy says he thought there is a microphone playback enable button that could possibly be turned off in the Zoom menu. Oh, okay, good point. So if I go to audio in the Zoom settings, and that's where I am. It doesn't. There is no setting there from what I can tell. I mean, I'm not. This is my microphone, so the speaker test.
Eric says, when it happened to me, I turned universal control power button off, then I reopened Studio One and played my track and it went back to stereo.
Well, was the audio all jarbled up like that? That's the concern that I have. The mono stereo, I want it to be stereo, but I rather have the sound quality be good first.
Sure.
So I don't know, and I understand. Someone had mentioned it sounds like there's you're right. It almost sounded like, but that can't be because we're both wearing headphones. That the audio is being picked up by a live mic, but that can't be right because it's not coming out of our studio monitors. It's there's no bleed there. Let me just see if I open up Universal Control. See if I mute my microphone, that's not going to work. If I mute something on I mute our vocal mics on the studio live, then they won't hear us.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make any sense. So that I don't think that helps us. You know, I'm just not sure. But yeah, that's what it sounded like. He's right.
Hmm.
The only thing I can think of, I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know what's different about this because it doesn't sound like that through Wirecast. So
Yeah.
something in the Zoom. It's got to be something in the Zoom setup.
It's almost like it's the bit rate or something.
Mm. Well, it doesn't give me a choice when you set up Zoom. It doesn't give us a choice to set up bitrate. It just lets you pick the interface for your microphone and then the interface for what you're listening back on. It doesn't give you a choice to choose bitrate or
Oh.
quality. But then again, neither does Wirecast.
True.
So I'm not really sure why that is. That seems kind of strange.
I wonder if it has like a ducker built in. And so when you're playing Studio One, it's trying to duck the mic at the same time. And that's causing the artifacting.
Maybe, but you would think there would be an option to turn that on or off though in the audio settings, and I don't see one of those.
Hmm. Yes, Robbie, Inverness is definitely north of Edinburgh. It's a good wee journey.
Well, you know what? I don't know. We're going to have to, well, you know what I'm going to do? We're recording this on my hard drive. I'm going to cut out the section of video where the audio and Studio One's all jarbled. And I'm going to send that to my contact at Zoom tomorrow.
No, that's a good idea.
So he can listen to it and say, this is what we're trying to do. Why is this doing this? And maybe he could point us in the right direction. I got to think it, usually people that use Zoom, I don't think they're probably just using the computer internal sound card. They're probably not using audio interfaces. And I got to think that has something to do with it, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I'm just not sure about that for sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
So I don't know.
It could be that they're the way their audio is designed is maybe not for things like Studio One.
Well, we can figure that out. I mean, yeah, we definitely have to figure that out because that would kill the whole idea of doing even webinars. If you can't do a webinar and use Studio One and have it nice, clear audio, then that is the wrong thing to be trying to use.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have other options we'll have to discuss. We could do stuff. Martin saying I have a lot of repeats and feedback on my vocal, but that I didn't change anything, so I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's
Apparently I'm clearer than you now, which was the opposite minutes ago.
Really strange. Okay, well, I think we've learned. I mean, this is great. I'm glad we did this. I would have hated to do this tomorrow on Saturday and have this go like this, but we will still be on Saturday. We will go back to Wirecast and do just like we did last month, where we'll demonstrate the plugins. We'll do all that stuff, and I'll figure out a way, Johnny, that you could come in on Skype like last time. But how do we get you to be able to share your screen through the wire?
I would probably share my screen through Skype because the Wirecast would just be recording the Skype screen, I'm guessing.
Right. And then what I can do in Wirecast, I can set up a separate shot with Skype blown up the entire thing of my screen. So when you're sharing your screen, it's looking at my desktop.
Okay.
And that might work. Well, maybe you and I will do a test of that tomorrow before, but we'll get it to work. So anyway, guys, there's 15 people here again. Thanks so much. I appreciate you guys stopping in and just checking us out. Again, sorry for, some of the technical difficulties, but like John said, we're really trying to get this right before we, move forward and try to do things. And again, we will do a webinar. If you're not part of the VIP list, go out to homerecordingmadeeasy.com, get on the list. It's only going to be available to the first 100 people, and that email is going to go out to 8,000 of you. So only the first 100 are going to be able to get in. So you got to register. You'll click on the link. It'll bring you to a registration page. Again, it's free. It's just like 4 or 5 questions as part of the registration that I put in there because, again, I'm testing out the features. It's going to ask you, are you using a Mac or PC? What's your DAW? How long have you been mixing music? A couple of questions. Only gathering that information just because I want to see how that feature works. So please just answer the questions. It'll help me later on. And then you will get, once you register, you'll get a link, a unique link that on, I think it's June 11th, you'll see it in the email. You'll click on that link. It'll bring you right into our webinar. You'll be able to join the chat like you are on YouTube, and there should be no delay and no problem, but we'll find out. And again, it's completely free. So until the next time, this has been Dave and Johnny with homerecordingmadeeasy.com. And we will see you one way or the other on Saturday night.
Yep.
YouTube 8 p.m. Eastern. Cool.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Bye.